my channel. My name is Hope and I am a photographer serving both Charleston and Savannah, and this YouTube channel is where I share education for photographers as well as a little bit of a peek into my life living in the Low Country. And we're going to dive into outsourcing today. I have done a few different videos on outsourcing on this channel, but it is something that I believe in so deeply because of the freedom that it has given me in my business. And so today I want to talk about the first 3 things that I outsourced in my photography business that I think you could outsource in yours to get some of your time back and have a little bit more work-life balance in your day today. So we're gonna go ahead and just dive right in. I've elaborated a lot in past videos about why I believe in the power of outsourcing and why I think that it is so valuable as an entrepreneur and a business owner. So I'm not gonna dive in too deeply there. I will link a video in the description for you to watch if you wanna learn a little bit more about that. But today I wanna just talk specifically about the actual things that I am outsourcing. So number 1 is the biggest thing that I believe photographers should be outsourcing when they scale their business to a point that they are booking consistently and need a little bit more balance and getting some of their time back, and that is outsourcing your editing. And there are lots of feelings about this in the photography world, but I truly believe that outsourcing your editing can change not only your business and your client experience and your workflows, but quite literally change your life. Because when we became photographers, we didn't become photographers to spend hours upon hours, sometimes even days, behind our computers editing, right? We became photographers because we loved working with people. We loved photographing them and capturing beautiful moments. And feeling like you're bogged down and locked behind your computer screen can be draining just to your energy and your life, but it can also cause your client experience and your photography and your business to suffer because you start to feel burnt out. You start to feel sometimes even resentful towards your work instead of excited about it. And outsourcing your editing to somebody else truly helps you to get your life back in that sense. So I have a full video on outsourcing your editing on this channel, but essentially how it works is that I only outsource my editing for my weddings. I do still do all of my own editing for my engagement sessions and my senior portraits, but being able to outsource the bulk of my wedding photography is what has saved me dozens of hours of time with every single one of my wedding clients. And basically what I'm doing is editing all of the sneak peeks and the images that you see in the blog post, and then I'm outsourcing the rest to somebody else. And their job is to sync the edits that I have done with the other 1,000 plus images in the gallery. So any work that everyone is seeing on my platforms is work that I have edited. The bulk of the work is just what's done by my editor, and it gives me so much time back. They edit faster than I would be able to edit, so they're literally able to turn them around quicker, which makes me look better. And the edits are more consistent because they do editing as a full-time job, right? They're arguably better at editing than I am. Once I teach them how to edit in my style, they can do it more accurately, more consistently, and far faster than I can do it. So outsourcing your editing in your business is a game changer. I'm going to link some resources below for you to find an editor for your business if that's something that is interesting to you. The second thing that I outsourced in my business, this was the first thing that I gave to my virtual assistant, who now works over 20 hours a month for me. But the very first thing that I gave her was my Pinterest. I literally hired Emily, my assistant, who is just incredible in every way, specifically to focus on my Pinterest. Pinterest was something that I had no interest in teaching myself. I didn't want to have to learn the strategy and the workflows behind an entirely new social media platform, as if I didn't have my hands full already with Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and everything else I was doing in my business. But I knew that I wanted to be showing up there. I knew that I wanted my content to be circulating on Pinterest, but I just didn't have the bandwidth to do it myself. So I hired her on essentially to take my blog posts and the content that I was already creating and just push that out to Pinterest. So she started all my boards, she organized them, she made them beautiful, and she's linking all of my content that I was already making anyway on Pinterest. And now we are getting traffic from Pinterest. I get increase from Pinterest, and that all started with hiring her. Like my full-time VA all got started with her just doing Pinterest for me. So it doesn't have to be Pinterest, but if there's a social media platform or a content creation platform in general that you just don't enjoy or that you feel like is bogging down a ton of your time on a day-to-day basis, outsourcing it might be an incredible place for you to start. Maybe you love editing and you're not interested in outsourcing that, or you've already outsourced it and you need something else. Social media is a great thing to consider outsourcing. Maybe Instagram for you is just a huge pain point, and coming up with those captions is just the biggest pain in your butt. You can outsource that to somebody else. So consider that in your business. Think about what platforms you don't enjoy, what elements of your workflows you could outsource, because now Emily helps me run every single one of my platforms. She has her hands in every single one of my social media and content platforms, and I would not be able to run my business without her. So one platform is a really awesome place to start. And third, last but not least, I think an amazing place for photographers to outsource, especially when you've scaled to a point that you have a large client workload, a lot of clients to handle at one time, is the back end of your client experience. And Emily now does this for me too, but I knew that I needed this in my business when small things for my service-based actual photography clients started slipping through the cracks, like sending their questionnaires on time, or forgetting to follow up, or forgetting to check in a week before their shoot. Those little things started to slip through the cracks when I got really busy with the education and content side of my business, and in seasons when I was just so busy with a large client workload that those things started to slip through. And that is not something that I am okay with, and it's not acceptable to me for my client experience to be slipping through the cracks. But I just didn't have any more time in my day or any more bandwidth to manage another thing. So I brought Emily on to do that as well. And what she does is she is in charge of making sure that nothing falls through the cracks. So she helps me to follow up with my clients. She saves email templates for me for things like gallery deliveries and sending my client galleries to the vendors after a wedding day. She collects all of the vendor information and social media links for me before a wedding day so that I can tag all the vendors that I work with on Instagram. She sends out the questionnaires and the final emails for my clients so that I don't forget to do those things. She helps me to be sure that when I have my hands full with everything else, my clients are still being loved and served with top-notch customer service, thanks to her ability to automate and schedule those things and just remind me when things are slipping through the cracks. So if you feel like you're in that season where things that are really important to you are starting to fall through the cracks when it comes to serving your clients, having somebody just come in and help you to streamline those workflows, pre-schedule things, and make sure that nothing's slipping through can really help you to get your sanity and your life back. So I hope this video was helpful. I hope talking about those three things maybe sparked some light bulbs in your mind of areas in your business that you could pass off to somebody else to get some time back. And I post new videos every single week for photographers, and I would absolutely love to have you subscribe to follow along. My goal is to hit 10,000 subscribers this year, so it would make my day to have you subscribe to my channel by clicking the button below. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll be back next week and hope to see you all there. Bye.